So today, the town of Fort Myers Beach has voted 4-1 in favor to raise the property taxes, the millage rate, from basically 99 cents to $1.25 per $1,000 of assessed value. That's a 26% rate increase. Now, so for example, that does mean that if your property assessed value is $500,000, then your property taxes will go up $130, basically year over year. Another example, if it's a $1 million assessed value, it'll go up $260. Now you might be reading online other people and what they're calculating out. It's actually wrong, and including one of the council members, Karen Woodson, she commented on Beach Talk Radio, basically stating that $1 million assessed value of a house, it would go up like $500 some. So even her math is not right, and she voted on it. But indeed, for $1 million assessed value, it's going to go up $260. So it's not a huge dramatic increase that many people are thinking it's going to be, but it is still an increase, obviously. But I wanted to put it out there so everyone can be at ease that it's not as dramatic as what others are making out to believe. And I'll insert a clip in this video of even Wink News got their math wrong as well. So I'll let you decide here.
Leaders on Fort Myers Beach could institute a 26% property tax increase. It has roots in issues caused by Hurricane Ian. Wink News anchor Jillian Haggerty joins us now live from the beach. Jillian, how did people that you ask feel about this?
Well, Russ, when talking with people today, their overall reaction was being worried. Now, a lot of people here on the island are still just picking up the pieces to their homes, their businesses, and their entire lives. Now, like I said, when speaking with people here on the island, they also refer to this as just another burden, but they're worried this time because they think it's a burden they won't be able to afford. It's been nearly 3 years since Hurricane Ian tore through Fort Myers Beach. But for many who live here, recovery still feels like a daily battle. And now, another blow, a proposed 26% increase in property taxes. And the town staff is pushing for a new rate of 1.255, which would cost homeowners about $125 more per $100,000 of property value. Town officials say this is the only way to keep the lights on. But for people living here, it feels like a punch while they're still down.
So if you notice in the key word that she mentioned in the article, in the video, that the property tax bill is going to go up $125 per 100,000 of assessed value. So the math is not right. It's not going to be a total increase there. And I even submitted a thing to Wink News that they should correct that math because it's totally incorrect. It's giving people the false belief that it's going to be going way up higher than it actually is. So I wanted to put it out there. And just to give you an example, based on the current millage rate that Fort Myers Beach takes for property taxes, to give you an example of a $500,000 property, it's going to go from basically $495 to the town of Fort Myers Beach. It's going to be increased from $495 to $625. So that's going to be the increase. Another example for $1 million assessed value, it's going to go from $990 to $1,250 towards Fort Myers Beach, their portion of the millage rate of the tax bill. So I wanted to put that out there as far as what that means for everyone on Fort Myers Beach, and that it's not going to be going up as much as what people actually think it is. So I want to make sure everyone knows about that. And like I mentioned, it was 4-1 that voted in favor of that increase. And basically the reasoning behind it is to help pay off a loan, like a bridge loan that was provided to the town by the state. It was like around $11 million loan, in which they still don't know for sure if they have to pay it back. They're trying to get that basically waived, from my understanding, from what I heard. And if that's the case, that happens, then they'll just use it towards other operating costs, the rate increase. So with that rate increase, what they are not allowed to do is increase it again, at least for this interim time. What they can do is they're going to plan on meeting again several times, and they'll take public comment about it. Doesn't mean they'll listen to you about it, but they will take comments about the rate increase. One thing they can do is decrease it from that point. They cannot raise it more than the 26%, at least this go around. So I want to put that part out there, and I'm going to talk about the market update for Fort Myers Beach, and it is specifically for the island. So I'm not talking about San Carlos Island. It is specifically Estero Island. So to give you the real estate market update on the single family properties, currently there's 154 active listings. There's 12 pending, and there's 7 that have sold in July, and there was 8 that have sold in June, 9 sold in May, and 9 in April. So It's been hovering around that level between the 7 to 9 properties each month have sold. So what that basically translates to, as far as the July numbers, taking that into account, the 7 sales, that translates to a 22-month inventory. And if I average it out for those past 4 months, it comes out to about a 19-month inventory. So not much of a big difference there. Now, the inventory number, what that means is you take that number, and that's how long it'll take for the current active listings to sell through based on its current sales rate. That would be no new listings added to the market. So it would take 22 months to sell through the current inventory level. Now, to put that into another perspective, it's definitely a buyer's market right now, especially on the island with that 22-month inventory. Anything over a 6-month inventory is considered a buyer's market. Anything below a 6-month is a seller's market. So the equilibrium is about a 5 to 6 month of inventory is a happy medium between the both buyers and sellers market. So we're definitely heavily into a buyer's market. Not much is selling right now. And that is part and due to the high interest rates currently still. People are sitting on the sidelines waiting, and there's still a lot of people looking and watching the market as far as the pricing goes. So they are studying the market and obviously waiting for interest rates to go down. Now, to give you an example for condos, currently there are 239 active listings, so that inventory has come down. There's 13 pending. There was 8 sold in July, 17 sold in June, 12 in May, and 17 in April. So you can kind of tell that it's like up and down as far as the number of sales each month for condos. Based on the July numbers, it translates to a 29-month inventory. And if I take out average out the previous 4 months, that comes to about an 18-month inventory. So it just depends on how you want to do the math and how you want to look at it. Regardless, it's still a buyer's market. And then let's talk about vacant lots. So currently on the island, there are 144 active listings. There's 2 pending. There was 3 that has sold in July. There was 1 sale in June, 1 in May, and 2 in April. So not much is happening as far as the lots go. There's currently a 48-month inventory, so that's 4 years of inventory on lots. That's based on the July sales of 3 being sold in July. If I averaged out the previous 4 months average, that would come to an 82-month inventory, so 6.8 years of inventory. Obviously, the lots are not moving. It is definitely a heavily buyer's market right now on lots and everything else on the island. Currently, I think people are waiting as far as wanting to build new construction. The amount of permits have actually gone down as far as year over year goes for new construction. I think there was obviously the influx of people wanting to build new houses and get back into homes on the island. And I think that's starting to play out as far as the number of builders willing to work with the town of Fort Myers Beach and building properties. They were obviously inundated with requests. And I think a lot of builders there were some builders that were stopped taking on new builds until they can get more underway and then start taking on more as time goes on. So as far as building goes, there's still the opportunity to build new construction and then even come out ahead as far as the equity. There's even some new construction that have recently been completed and put on the market and is pending right now, and I'll go over that like in a future video. When it sells, I'll let you guys know about it. Now, that's basically the current market conditions here on the beach. Typically in the summertime it is slow. Obviously during the winter time is our selling season here on the island and in Southwest Florida in general. It's mostly second homeowners that are on the island, and currently it's out of sight, out of mind when everyone's up north. And things I think will start picking up again in the fall here. More people will be looking to maybe buy something for the winter time for their winter stays. And I think they're obviously keeping an eye on the market as far as their current conditions go and what's happening also with the economy, that sort of thing. So I just want to give those market updates as well as giving the update on what happened with the town council today and raising the property taxes. So let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about that. And if you have any questions about the market in general, be sure to like this video and subscribe for future Fort Myers Beach updates that I do here on real estate, as well as other happenings and progress being made on the island. And I'm David Piper. I'm a realtor here on Fort Myers Beach. I do specialize here on the island, but I do sell in Southwest Florida. And I welcome you to contact me for any questions you do have on the island here, as well as in Southwest Florida. And be sure to subscribe to my channel, where I do give updates on what's happening on Fort Myers Beach, as well as the market here. And also let me know in the comments below if you have any recommendations on anything you want to see on the island. I know there's a lot of people up north who watch these videos, and there might be something specific you want to see. Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and then I'm always looking for new ideas to feature here on Fort Myers Beach in my Beaches Real Estate Group channel here. So I do appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.